This letter was sent to me by the Perth District Health Unit, and they are members of what they call the Think Team. And I had them in my office during Constituency Week, 3 of them, and they're all young folks, and they're very concerned and they're very supportive of this bill. And it goes like this. We are the members of the Think Team who work to promote healthy lifestyles for Perth County youth. Our team educates youth in our schools, community, and on social media about important health issues, including significant work preventing youth from starting to use tobacco. As youth, we are engaged and active advocates for youth health in Perth County. We would like to inform you that we are strong supporters of Bill 45, Making Healthier Choices Act 2014. There are many reasons why we believe, as youth, this bill should be passed in our provincial parliament. We see an increasing number of our peers using electronic cigarettes in Perth County. Since there is currently no legislation regulating electronic cigarettes, they can be sold to and used by youth. We have worked with the local school boards to restrict the use of electronic cigarettes in our schools, but further legislation is required to protect our peers from this new product. We are working on a campaign to educate youth about electronic cigarettes, but this legislation will help prevent youth from using them in the first place. Electronic cigarettes are normalizing the act of smoking and reversing all the good work tobacco control has accomplished. The Making Healthier Choices Act would restrict electronic cigarettes from being promoted and sold to youth under the age of 19. The tobacco industry flavors tobacco products as candy and fruit to make them more appealing to youth. Chewing tobacco, cigarillos, and electronic cigarettes are all flavored tobacco products and are most popular among youth. Making tobacco products less appealing, but not including any flavoring, will prevent youth from starting to use tobacco products. The Making Healthier Choices Act would prohibit the sale of flavored tobacco products, including menthol, which would decrease the likelihood of our peers and future generations of youth from using tobacco products. Now they go into the menu labeling. Finally, menu labeling of caloric values in restaurants would also be beneficial to Perth County youth. Menu labeling will help our peers to make more informed and smarter decisions when it comes to eating out. Today's youth are busy and constantly on the go, so having the option to make healthy, nutritious decisions when they eat out is important. Being able to see directly on the pamphlet or on a website, the Making Healthy Choices Act would require restaurants with 20 or more locations to post caloric information on their menus and menu board. Menu labeling legislation is a key component of the Healthy Kids Strategy, which aims to reduce childhood obesity by 20% over 5 years. We hope that you agree with our position and will support the passing of this bill, which is crucial to the health of Perth County youth. If your schedule allows, and then they would like to schedule a meeting with me, which they did, Speaker, and 3 of them came in to speak to me. And this letter is signed by members of the Think Team, Kelsey Ramsayer, Zach Meisner, Ali Van Bockel, Amanda Roberts, Megan Spearn, and Danny Skirwood. And it's also signed by the Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Miriam Klassen, who helps with this, who is with the Perth District Health Unit. I personally know Dr. Klassen, and she was my family doctor at one time until she got this position as the Medical Officer of Health. I also received a letter from another constituent, Brian Reed, who's from Mitchell, and he writes, he says, I'm writing to convey my strong support for the tobacco provisions of Bill 45, the Making Healthy Choices Act. Amendments to the Smoke-Free Ontario Act included in Bill 45 would ban flavorings, including menthol, in all tobacco products. Adding enticing flavors to tobacco products is one of the key ways that tobacco companies entice youth and young adults to experiment with tobacco. A government that is serious about reducing the unacceptable toll of illness and death from tobacco use must do everything possible to prevent tobacco companies from seducing our youth. Tobacco companies will likely claim that only adults use tobacco with menthol, but recent research tells a very different story. The latest youth smoking survey shows that almost a third of youth who smoked in the past month smoked a menthol cigarette, and almost half of those who had used some type of tobacco in the past month had used a flavored product. This is 2015. We have known for more than 50 years that smoking causes cancer. It is time for governments to stop bowing to pressure from the tobacco companies. I urge you to oppose any demands from the industry for an exemption from menthol. Governments should be doing everything they can to prevent youth from starting to smoke and to encourage people to quit. Banning all flavors in all types of tobacco products would make a valuable contribution to this effort. Bill 45 also contains critical legislation to reduce electronic cigarettes. The bill would ban the sale of e-cigarettes to minors, limit their promotion, and ban their use in workplaces and public places like restaurants, where smoking is already banned. I understand that e-cigarettes might help some smokers quit, but I also believe that if they are not appropriately controlled, we could see a new generation of youth addicted to a new form of nicotine. As well, I personally do not want to be exposed to whatever chemicals the vapor may contain. Much more research needs to be done on these products. Until we have more information about their impact, the government is right to exercise caution. Once again, I would like to reiterate my strong support for these really important tobacco control initiatives. We have made great progress in creating a smoke-free Ontario, but with 18% of Ontarians still smoking, a rate that hasn't changed since 2009, much more remains to be done. And this letter was sent to me from Brian Reid from Mitchell, as I've already mentioned. Speaker, I think we need, as politicians and elected officials to this House, to listen to our constituents. That is why we're here. And to support or not support legislation that they ask us to do. And certainly these two letters are in support of this bill. And I am pleased that they took time not only to write these letters to me, but to visit my office, and we had a personal, we had a chat, a very good chat with these people from the Think team, and they're just young high school students who are leaders in their community, in their high school, and took the initiative to set up this meeting to express their concern, not their concern with the bill, but their support for this bill. And I do appreciate that, and I think as legislators, that's what we do. We have to represent, and we should represent the constituents in our riding. Speaker, I have another letter here from the Heart and Stroke Campaign Foundation, and this is an organization. Actually, my wife canvasses our neighborhood for the Heart and Stroke, and goes around, and they do great work promoting healthier lifestyles. And certainly smoking is on their radar. I don't have enough time to read the whole letter, but one thing it was sent to me by Mark Holland. I'm sure everybody got this when it was sent to me by Mark Holland, the Executive Director, Ontario Mission and National Director, Children and Youth Heart Stroke Foundation, and Rowena Pinto, Vice President of Public Affairs and Strategic Initiatives of the Canadian Cancer Society of the Ontario Division. I'm sure all members got this letter so they can read it at their leisure. Again, thank you, Speaker, for this time. I think that this bill is certainly something that is supported by members of my community.
Being 10:15.